Do you have an answer to the slow starts that you guys are producing?
I don't have an answer. I think it comes down to a variety of things, and I think it's just coming down to the small period of the game which is letting us down. So certainly working on shifting the momentum and the various things around that, and we've addressed it as a group, and no doubt we need to get better.
What did you make of Carlton last night?
Oh, look, I just sat back as a footy supporter and watched the game. I thought it was a good game of footy. They're obviously a very, very talented side, very difficult to beat on that ground. So, we'll have to play significantly better this week than what we have done in the last 2 weeks.
Seems like you're getting a good time though with all their injuries and suspension.
I'm not too sure. I think they've got some quality coming back, off the injury list and off suspension. So, we're not getting them at a good time. We're getting it at a vital time for the club, and really we can only really focus on how we prepare and what we can do.
Do you take anything out of house and Kilda to shut them down?
Look, we haven't looked at it in terms of our opposition stuff. Obviously the game was only last night, so we'll address that later in the week, and I know 3 or 4 of our coaches went to the game, so I know they'll have some good ideas on how we can do that, but as a group we haven't spoken about it specifically yet.
Okay, one of the things that's standing out is from that game last week, usually Richmond had too much uncontested footy. It's been noticeable in the past. Where's that all going through in your mind as to how to deal with that now?
Yeah, no doubt that was an area that we were very poor at on the weekend, and I think when we play our best footy, we're defending as well as we can, and our focus has always been on defence first. So maybe we've let that slip. Well, we certainly let that slip in the last couple of weeks, and no doubt that's been a huge focus. There's no secret about that in terms we need to defend better, and then our attack will come from that.
What's breaking down then?
Look, it's hard to nail it, but I think it's just the intensity and the work rate of just shutting down those options and defending like our life depends on it, I guess. So, we'll practice that today. We'll practice it on Thursday, and all sides, the great sides, defend really well. So we want to be a great side, and for us to do that, we need to be defending better.
Is that just a little bit of complacency, given that Ken's sort of philosophy over the summer has been, defence first?
I'm not too sure it's complacency. I think it's, I can't tell you exactly what it is, but no, you're right. From day one of pre-season, that was our number one focus, and certainly with the games we've won, we've been better at our position from the games we've won. So we know what it takes to win games of footy, and that's certainly a huge part of it.
Have you got an idea on the best model, 2 dedicated ruckman or one?
I think not really, Rooch, and selection's probably not my area to go into. You're probably better off asking Kenny and the coaches about that. But
which one has worked better for you?
I can't. I think both have worked. I think one's worked at times and two's worked at times. So it all depends on matchups and opposition and balance and all those sort of things. So tall forwards, 2 rucks, that's a coaching issue.
How are Dom and Jasper going on the track and covering?
Yeah, we haven't done a huge amount yet, so obviously we've got to run around today and then the main session on Thursday. So those guys are certainly putting their hand up, and they'll have to train really well on Thursday and get through that session, and hopefully we're very hopeful to have both of them back this week.
Have you spent much time with Hamish Hartlett, just giving you a bit of an understanding about having players run with him?
Yeah, a little bit. I think every young talented midfielder goes through the exact same thing that Hamish is going through right now, and certainly Bokey's been through it way back, and the great players that have played through here, Nick Stevens and Josh Franco and all those guys have been through it, and I think it's just a great step in his development, and a bit of a sign of respect that sides rate him that highly, that they've been coming after him, and no doubt he's that versatile that he can play anywhere, and he'll get through it.
You've been able to give him a few tricks of the trade that you might use during your travels?
Yeah, certainly there's a few things that you can do, but yeah, it just comes down to he needs a lot of support and a lot of help, and the great players, even Gary Ablett gets a lot of help from his teammates, so certainly we've got to do that for him like we do with Bokey and the rest of our midfield, and it's really about sharing the load and not just relying on 1 or 2 of us.
How frustrated is he getting with it all?
No, I wouldn't say frustrated is the word. I think he's a very proud person, and like all of us, he wants to play really well every week, and I think he understands he can't be best on ground every week. So, yeah, I don't think frustrated is the word. I think he's more determined to keep working and work his way through it.
You said before your 250th game, you're looking to play on next year. Have you had any developments in your contract?
No, not yet. I'm sure that'll happen in the next few weeks or months, but yeah, just really focusing on trying to play well and win some games of footy, and that stuff takes care of itself.
Is the verve of the team still up there? You know how you can go through a season, you've gone through really a 10-week block. Has it worn you guys down, or are you still pretty well up and about the way you're approaching the games?
No, we're definitely up and about, but you're right. I think the season does go in ebbs and flows, and no doubt we've been up for a fairly long time, and we've had a couple of down weeks now, and then the challenge is to get back on that upward incline, I guess. And the great sides sort of at this stage of the year really make their mark on the competition and step forward, and that's what we've spoken about doing. And I guess the actions will speak louder than me sitting here saying we're going to do it. So we need to respond this week.
Do you think your 5-0 start to the season might have actually seen you win a bit of respect back, and the last couple of games you played, that the sides have perhaps done a bit more homework on you and taken you a bit more seriously?
Yeah, I think so. And from where we're coming from, such a long way back, we never thought we'd won 5 games, so we've arrived. That was never the case at all. We're always looking at the task in front of us, and we only won 5 games last year, so certainly that did a lot of damage to our brand. And as a group, we're really focused on continuing that momentum and performing better than what we have.
Just on next year, Kane, bit of talk around that maybe the season could go out to 24 games. How would you feel playing an extra couple of premiership matches, perhaps at the expense of the NAB Cup?
Yeah, look, I like that idea. I think the NAB Cup's too long, 4 or 5 weeks. Usually you play a couple of internal games as well. It does tend to drag on a lot. I think 2 pre-season games would be more than enough, and then to extend the season would be great for everyone, TV, supporters, and the players would love it too. So if that's the way they go, I'd be pretty happy with that.
So you run the risk though that you get some clubs that then have very long seasons because they can't make the finals?
Yeah, potentially, but I guess that's just down to the individual clubs to prepare as best they can so that doesn't happen. You're always going to have a couple at the bottom, but it's certainly better than playing in a pre-season comp that not a lot of people care about.
Would player management come into a bit more vogue if that happened, do you think? Like you see in the EPL, no one plays 38 games anymore. Would that be a part of AFL?
I think it's already a part now. I think certainly the clubs that are playing finals and those sort of things towards the end of the year tend to do that, and all clubs are managing their players on a daily basis, whether it's game time or training time and that sort of thing. It's only an extra couple of games, so it's no big deal, but it's pretty professional now, and the fitness guys have got a pretty good indication of who needs what. And
I think people seem to jump up and down when that happens, when people rest players still. Is that just a matter of, because our game's evolving, that supporters don't just have to get used to it and understand that's a part of it, rather than getting ready to have a whack at a team that does it in case they do slip up? Yeah,
a little bit. I think you can understand that supporters come to the games wanting to see their best players play every week, and certainly that's understandable. But I think the average supporter would look back and think that they're doing it for the betterment of the club, and all in terms of playing finals footy and winning games when it really counts. So I'm sure they understand that.
Has Burjo talked about it, obviously given his background in the EPL and soccer?
Nah, not really. He might talk to individuals about it, but certainly as a group we haven't really addressed it.
Thanks, Kane.
Thanks.